You may think you are running out of time, but there are still 7 plants that you can cut back now this weekend in order to ensure you still have some flower colour come September.
Hooray!
Now, I have included lavender as one of these 7 plants, and I know you're going to say, Simon, these aren't going to flower in September, but the timing of these cuts on lavender is so important that I've added it in because it's arguably one of the most popular of all your shrubby plants for your garden, and it's the one that is most messed up when it comes to pruning, and you will have to prune it now. You are running out of time. So the first group of plants on the list are going to be all of your dahlias. Now, you've probably already had your first flush of the summer. Those best displays may have already passed, but if you don't start deadheading, removing these spent blooms, it really will come to an end very, very quickly. By cutting these back now, I'll explain exactly how to do it. You will get these plants to continue flowering really right up until November, really up until that first hard frost. Got a bit of string on my hat. Dahlias are one of those plants that can be triggered into producing more blooms simply by removing the old blooms. Now, when a flower is pollinated and it starts to produce seed, it often triggers a mechanism in the plant to say, you don't need to produce any more flowers because we've got the seeds that we need in order to pass on our genetic information to the next generation. However, with dahlias, if you do remove these old spent blooms, it then triggers a different mechanism in the plant to say, all the seeds disappeared, I want to produce seeds, so it produces more flowers. So by regularly going through your dahlias, checking which flowers have passed or about to pass, remove those, it encourages that plant to produce more flowers, which is why if you cut these now in August, it will encourage to produce more flowers. You will have flowers in September. You see how it's all beginning to work. Let me show you. We have a lovely little dwarf dahlia flowering its little socks off, and as you can see, some of these blooms have come to an end, and if I leave them here, they will start to produce seed and trigger the plant to stop sending out any more blooms. So we're going to get rid of its babies. Probably shouldn't say it like that, that would just upset people, and we'll remove these dead heads. Now it will think, oh my goodness, let's produce some more flowers, and it will do this. Also, I don't want to see people leaving horrible snaggy stalks. So if you do have an old bloom, don't cut it there and leave all that. Take it back, and if you can, take it back even further. Keep it looking lovely and tidy. The next group of plants on your list are going to be your shrubby catmints, which is your genus Nepeta. They are probably looking pretty awful right now, finished flowering, looking messy and untidy. But if you start to cut into these plants, give it a bit of a haircut, remove the spent blooms, the stalks, cut into some of the foliage, you'll get a flush in your growth. And with luck and a fair wind, a bit of sunshine, you will get a second flush of blooms from these Nepeta next month. It's the last opportunity to do these cuts for a September flush for Nepeta. So if you don't do it now, you're probably going to leave it far too late. Group of plants number 3 are going to be your lavender, although in England we're only really talking about your lavender angustifolia, the English lavender, because that is the hardest, it's the very best, it's the one that will give you a decent display year after year, year after year. Now the cutting of these is a little bit more specific. Let's get into that now. This is my lavender. It's growing in a pot. I don't advise growing lavenders in pots because they are so much more difficult to maintain their condition. My wife Lorna planted this up against my better judgment, but apparently it is just as much her garden as it is mine, and I'm not brave enough to argue with her. So as you can see, the blooms have finished, apart from that one, and there is no bee activity. This has finished flowering. We no longer need to keep these stems. Now, one thing that people like to do when it comes to cutting back the lavender is this. They like to cut off all of the flower heads like this. Let's speed it up. And they like to leave all these snaggy stalks in place. Why would you do that? It looks stupid and ugly. It's my opinion, I'm entitled to it. What you need to do is cut that down further, cut all those stalks, and where you have the green growth, start to cut into that. Do not cut into any of this brown woody growth further in. There you go, properly cut. Let's take a closer look. A lovely, smart, tidy dome shape, no snags. Clearly, we've still cut into the green growth. The green growth is still there, and this is what's going to produce those multiple side shoots moving forwards that will keep growing till the end of the season before hardening off, which is exactly what I want to achieve. That's not a bad job, even though I say so myself, despite self-praise being no praise. Before we get to plant number 4, I am contractually obliged to do this. Subscribe for more videos. Hooray! Thumbs up too. Plant group number 4. It's going to be exactly the same timing, the same reason, and pretty much exactly the same cut for all of your hardy herbaceous geraniums. And although we've mentioned hardy geraniums before, I've always said, Roseanne, you don't really need to, because that just keeps flowering its little socks off. That is an absolutely blinding plant. You can cut this back now because it will start to run out of steam. So remove the seed heads, remove the stalks, cut into the foliage, give it a tidy up because it will look messy. And on that flush in the growth, you should expect some more blooms next month. Again, this is your very last chance to do it to these plants. In position number 5 are some of your roses that you can cut now and expect to get a second flowering display in September. First of these is going to be some of your large flowering hybrids, your single large blooming forms like Mr. Lincoln, and also that perennial favourite Peace. This will also include some of your cluster flowering Floribunda roses such as Julia Child, which is an excellent one, but also my favourite Iceberg. That's got an absolutely beautiful pure white bloom. There are also a select group of David Austin repeat flowering roses that you can also cut back now, and I'll explain how to do these cuts next. As these blooms start to go over, the plant will divert energy into producing the seed head and the seeds within just behind here. You can see that there. So you need to remove these to prevent the plant from expending valuable energy into producing that, which you don't really need, not unless you want to have the colourful hips at the end of the summer, in producing more of these. So by cutting these here, and you're removing the seed head, encouraging these blooms to come through. So jump forward 4 weeks or so. That's a bit snaggy. I should have probably cut that a bit lower. You'll get a new shoot coming off here, and at the very top of it, you will get a new flower bud there. Can you see that? So come September, that should be in flower again. Hooray! At number 6 are all of your Penstemons, a fantastic range of coloured herbaceous plants that will really benefit from a cut right now. You could leave it, but what tends to happen is they get tall, leggy, very woody, and if you want to cut them later to improve flowering, you can't really cut into that woody growth. So if you leave it and try and tackle that next year, it's not going to give particularly good results. So you should cut them now regardless. When cutting into these, and we did these a couple of weeks ago, always cut into the green growth, never cut into the brown growth. They really don't like to rejuvenate from there. As you can see, we've already got some nice lush growth coming through, and in fact already have some bud being formed. They'll be open soon. So again, by giving a timely cut in August, you'll guarantee more blooms in September. What's not to like? Last on the list, and you don't have to cut this one if you really don't want to, but it's going to be Verbena Bonariensis, an excellent flowering plant for later on in the season. If you don't cut them now, they will continue to flower, but by cutting now gives you two benefits. The first is that you'll be removing what will be a massive load of seeds that are going to be absolutely everywhere, and you'll probably get a bajillion seedlings growing up come the spring. So deadheading now, that stops that from happening. Secondly, by cutting now, you'll promote side shoots, and on those side shoots you'll get more blooms. So you'll actually increase your flowering display later on in the year when the plant would normally be slowing down. So there you go. Those are my 7 plants that you really do need to cut right now. There are a lot of benefits to it, but if there are any others that I haven't mentioned, because these videos are seen elsewhere in the country, elsewhere in the world, you might have different plants that you think, got to get that one done. Well, put that in the comments. We'd generally like to hear from you, and it gets people talking about it, gets that information out there. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to click that like button because it really supports the channel, and there's one more video for you to watch. Hopefully you'll enjoy that one too.